So here it is, you guys, the world's fastest gaming graphics card, the GeForce RTX 4090 from NVIDIA. This is the retail box for it, and let me tell you, it's super heavy and quite big. Here's the side of it. I guess you tear there and tear on this other side, and it's supposed to open up and show you the treasure inside. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay guys, I'm super excited to see the next generation of RTX graphics cards. Here we go, the RTX 4090. Wow, this thing looks amazing. There it is right there, you guys. RTX 4090 with its huge fans compared to the older RTX 3090. Wow, so let me go ahead and take it out of this box and we'll take a closer look. Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Oh look, there's a hidden compartment here. All right, let's take a look at what's in this box. All right, so it looks like we have this NVIDIA branded adapter that's gonna connect to the top of the graphics card with this right here. And it's got like these special pins on top. I don't know if you can see it quite there. I think those are like the sensing pins or something like that. And we have 4 8-pin power connectors here. And from what I learned online, if you connect 3, you'll get 100% of the power. But if you go ahead and connect that 4th power adapter, it's gonna give you some additional headroom for overclocking. You're gonna be able to increase that power limit from 100% to 130%, I believe. So that'll be interesting to see. I definitely wanna connect all 4 and get the most power available to this graphics card. Then we have a small flyer here with a code for you to get to the GPU installation guide. And they show some small graphics here to show you basically what to do with this graphics card to get it going on your gaming PC. And you do get a warning here that says only use the included NVIDIA adapter. Otherwise, if you use non-compliant or third-party power connectors, they may cause technical issues and may void your manufacturer warranty. So for now, I definitely will be sticking with this manufacturer included power adapter provided by NVIDIA because I'm not looking to upgrade my power supply, since 850 watt power supply, which is what I have, should be enough to power the RTX 4090. So I'm just gonna stick with that until I have to upgrade later. Finally, GeForce support guide is included in the box. All right, interestingly enough, there wasn't anything in the package that tells you how to connect the power supply cables to this adapter. For example, can you use a daisy chained power cable to connect 2 of them? Who knows? I'm gonna go ahead and scan that QR code and take a look online before I do the installation. All right, and funny enough, a lot of the weight in the package was the actual storage box for this RTX 4090. So I'm gonna check out the graphics card and see how much that weighs itself. All right, so here is the 4090 and it is quite heavy, I must tell you. So it looks quite nice with this gunmetal silver color on black. And you see here, it says RTX 4090. And I don't know if you can see, but right here it also says NVIDIA. I don't remember the RTX 3090 saying that on the card, so that's kind of cool that they added that there. It's very small. And this fan on the 4090 is actually quite bigger than that on the 3090. And I will be bringing in the RTX 3090 for comparison in this video, so stay tuned for that. So you'll see a comparison of both side by side. So by the looks of it, the design of the cooler looks similar, but from actual testing from places like Gamers Nexus, this is a much improved cooler when compared to the RTX 3090. And you're gonna get very good cooling with this stock RTX 4090 Founders Edition card. So you may not even need to spend that extra money on a third-party vendor such as Asus or MSI to get additional cooling. This Founders Edition card seems like it has very good cooling with, again, the bigger fans, and they kind of redesigned it on the inside, although it looks similar from the outside. So this is the top of the graphics card. You can see GeForce RTX here on the right. And I don't know if you can notice, but it's kind of like a concave design. It's not flat on top. It has this curvature to it, which is very interesting. And you see this power connector on top. It looks similar to the old one, but it has these additional pins on top, which I think are the sensing pins, which are required so that the card knows exactly how much power is available from your power supply. And so here is the backside of the RTX 4090. Again, you have this bigger fan, which is gonna provide some great cooling. And then you have the back of the card, which has this little tab cutout here, which you can open. If I remember correctly, it's for adding mounting solutions to the back since it's quite a heavy big boy. And here is the side that you'll see from the back side of your computer. You have 3 display ports and 1 HDMI port. And of course you see the black fins there, and you do have this mounting bracket. So it does have 3 places to secure your graphics card with a screw onto your computer case. You see it right there. And this bracket looks exactly like the one on the RTX 3090. But on the 4090, it does fill up the width of the entire bracket, whereas on the 3090, there was still a little bit of space available where it didn't get to the end of the bracket. So from the looks of it, this Founders Edition should be a 3-slot card. But if you're gonna buy a 4090 from a third party, such as Zotac or MSI, then it may take up more than 3 slots on your desktop case. All right, so let's go ahead and take this out so you can see the pins here. That's what it looks like on that side. And here is the other side. Okay, so the biggest takeaways for me on the new RTX 4090 Founders Edition is that it's much bigger and that it's much heavier. And the fans are also bigger compared to the RTX 3090. But let me go ahead and bring up the 30X90, compare it side by side with the 4090. Let's take a closer look. Okay, now that we have the RTX 3090 and the RTX 4090 side by side, we can see some of the differences. So let's go over them. First of all, for the 3090, it seems like it's a little bit longer, but it's also skinnier than the RTX 4090. The RTX 4090 is definitely thicker this way, and that's due to the larger fan that is included with the 4090. Other than that, the length difference is not very much, so you shouldn't be worried about it if you're upgrading to this card on your case as far as the length goes. So it's actually good news if you have a tight fit on your case. You might be better off with the 4090 in terms of the length, because the 4090 is a little bit shorter than the RTX 3090. Okay, and here I have the 3090 on the left side and the 4090 on the right, and we see that the 4090 is actually thicker by quite a bit than the RTX 3090. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your computer build. The added curves on the 4090 make it look a little bit thinner than it actually is, but if you compare them side by side, you do see that indeed the 4090 is thicker. And here they are side by side. Looking at the bottom, you see the difference. You see the fins are actually wider on the 4090 versus the 3090. And like I mentioned earlier, you see the bracket here goes up to here, but the card ends about here, so there is that little bit of space. Whereas on the 4090, it's the exact width of this bracket here. All right, and here's the back of the 3090 and the 4090. Again, the most noticeable thing is the bigger fan in the back. The heatsink design looks about the same. Like I said, only that the 4090 is shorter, but it is wider. Okay, so I'm actually very curious to weigh both cards, because to me, the RTX 4090 seems heavier than the 3090, but I think that's just kind of like a mind trick, because the RTX 4090 is kind of like wider and like a little bit harder to hold. So let's go ahead and weigh them both and see which one actually weighs more and by how much. So first off, let's weigh the 4090, and we get a weight of 4.83. Okay, now the 3090's turn, and we get a weight of 4.80. So the RTX 4090 is actually a little bit heavier, but not by much, which is surprising to me. I think it's just like a little bit bulkier because it's wider. It's a little bit harder to hold than the RTX 3090. So that was what tricked me. But good job NVIDIA by actually making the next generation card not much heavier than the previous generation.